These are my friends, Dave and Dorothy. And if they hit this retirement number, they'll be the happiest retirees on planet Earth. But what is that number? How do we get to that number? And how much will retirement cost? In this video, we're going to talk about lifestyle, expenses, lifespan, healthcare, and the calculation is going to be at the end, so stay tuned. But here's the catch. Retirement's different for everybody, and you're going to see at the end that you'll be able to implement some of this stuff right away to prepare for your retirement. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Thatcher Taylor, certified financial planner and founder of ProPath Financial. Today's video is the most common question I get. How much do I need to retire? We're going to utilize Dave and Dorothy as an example, but if you want to go through this retirement planning process and get a higher quality level of retirement planning compared to all the big names and big dogs, please go to propathfinancial.com, and I can't wait to chat with you. All right, so we're going to start with Dave and Dorothy's lifestyle. Even the most modest lifestyle might cost $50,000 a year. Do you want to stay at home? Do you want to work? Do you want to travel? Do you have family, got vacations and activities and things planned? The most modest retirement is going to be $50,000 a year, at least. A more active lifestyle could be closer to $100,000 or more per year. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual retirement costs $57,818. And that's 2022 data. That's 3 years ago. Now it's probably closer to $60,000 or more on average. So remember, your goals drive your budget. So next, we're going to try to estimate Dave and Dorothy's expenses. Just a rough calculation. This is going to take me about a minute, but you could sit down and take 15 solid minutes and come out with a pretty legitimate budget on what you have now and what you're going to need in retirement. So housing, even without a mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, expenses, you could be spending $12,000 to $18,000 a year. That's $1,000 to $1,500 a month just on a housing expense. Utilities, groceries, transportation could easily be $1,500 to $2,000, and that's on the low end. Some discretionary expenses, $1,000, $2,000 a month, hobbies, travel, even some fancier dinners, fun stuff could be $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So quick math, calculate it all, take out your calculator. That's $6,000 a month or $72,000 per year that Dave and Dorothy might need, not including a mortgage. So if you have your mortgage paid off, this is a little bit better. If you don't have your mortgage paid off, $72,000 could be way more. But you can see how the expenses creep up. There's the average that we spoke about earlier, but then there's the truth. That's what we see now. So next we're going to talk about longevity. We found how much income you need. But if you're a 65-year-old couple, there's a 50% chance that one of you is going to live to age 90. Isn't that crazy? If you're both 65 or near 65, there's a 50% chance that one of you is going to live all the way to age 90. That means the $72,000 that we just calculated needs to last 25 or 30 years. So in our example, $72,000 now, inflation adjusted 3% a year on average over the next 30 years could turn your $6,000 a month that we spoke of into $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year. And this isn't a crazy number. This is math, inflation adjusted over a long period of time. This is always how the cost of living has worked. So longevity matters because we're going to use conservative assumptions to make sure that you have enough money to last until age 90, 95, or longer. That all kind of depends on your health. If you're healthy, you might live longer. Next, we're going to factor in healthcare. Healthcare is a wild card. According to Fidelity, a big study that they do, it could cost up to $315,000 just in healthcare expenses in your retirement. Now, a lot of that is the last couple of years. If you don't have long-term care or any protections, someone to take care of you at the end of life, you might have to take care of yourself with big medical bills, people coming into your house to take care of you, rest homes, assisted living, things like that. So it could come at the very end of retirement. But there's good news. Your health plays a major role in this. Reducing your stress, staying active, being healthy mentally and physically can reduce a lot of those expenses throughout retirement and make the end of life care even that much easier. Let's say you don't need full at-home 24/7 care. Maybe you just need someone to come to your house and help you with a couple things because you're predominantly healthy. That shaves down a lot of costs. But we can assume the average $300,000 through retirement. That's the high end. That's the worst case scenario. All right, next we're going to create a range, not a specific number. When I do retirement planning, I do probabilities of success. You can see an example of that here. You can see that through retirement, we don't know the exact numbers. There's too many variables, but we can get pretty dang close. And we can have an understanding of the disparity between what potentially you may need or have and create a probability of success in retirement. So let's say your minimum lifestyle need is $50,000, an even more comfortable lifestyle need is $75,000. And to have the really best retirement, Dave and Dorothy need $100,000 a year. So we can just have some fun with this and work backward. When I work with clients, I come with a more specific number. Like we get very detailed, but to give you perspective on how this all plays in. Say you had $1.5 million saved at the 4% rule, which I don't use in my income distribution strategies, but it's a pretty good example. Bangan's 4% rule can last about 30 years. So let's say a 4% withdrawal rate, that's pretty safe with a good retirement portfolio, that's $60,000 a year. So you can take $60,000 a year with inflation adjustments for 30 years. You can add an additional $40,000 a year from Social Security, which will also get an inflation adjustment. That'll get you to $100,000 a year. That's the top end high quality retirement. So your money depends on how long you live, what your retirement is, what your expenses are, and how well your money is invested. So the pro tip here is how you invest that $1.5 million matters. You can't be in all bonds. You need to have some long-term, high-quality, diversified equity exposure to make sure that money lasts. What that amount is depends on the person, but you got to have some. So to wrap it up, how much you need to retire depends on your lifestyle goals, your health, your spending habits, your longevity, who's there with you, and the income sources that you're going to be receiving. We didn't even talk about taxes, but you can check out one of my other videos here where we talk a lot more about taxes and how they apply to retirement. Specifically, this is a podcast where I talk a lot about taxes. So you need to start building a plan that matches your future and double check that number. If you want to double check, ProPathFinancial.com. There's also a link below if you want to get there faster. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.